Hello and welcome back to another out-of-spec detailing video here from Clear Detailing in Northern Colorado. Today you join me inside of the brand new Model Y refresh. This car is owned by my friend Brandon Teslaflex. He just picked it up a few days ago, and today we are coating the seats. Now, in my opinion, anytime you purchase a Tesla, you have to go with the white interior. A lot of people believe it's going to be hard to keep clean, it's going to get dirty really easily, but I actually find the opposite. These seats are actually very easy to clean, and especially if you protect them really from day one, it's going to make your life a heck of a lot easier. I just think these interiors look very futuristic, adds a lot more light and a little bit more premium feel over the black interior. So if you have selected the white interior, today we're going to go through all of the processes to protect your seats from day one. Welcome back, and let's jump into it. So there's been many videos, especially on my channel as well, but kind of the rest of YouTube, talking about how to keep Tesla seats clean. Now, the white seats, like I said, are actually pretty easy to clean if you protect them. If you kind of let them go, that's when things start to get really bad. So always what I recommend, especially when purchasing a brand new car, is always to get the seats protected. So in today's video, we're going to be showing you how to install Gyeon Leather Shield Evo. Now this works on both regular normal leather interiors as well as vegan or vinyl synthetic leathers like found here in the Tesla Model Y. And this is a fantastic product. It has anti-stain protection, dirt repellent, prevents UV damage, and is also water repellent. Now my friend Brandon Teslaflex swears by this stuff, and I've been using this for years as well, but he's had some very interesting series on his channels with his previous Teslas where he pours all sorts of crazy stuff like soda, wine, food, all the craziness all over his seats and immediately cleans them up. And that has a lot to do with the coating here. Now this coating also very much helps and prevents a lot of the dye transfer and gene staining we see often in Teslas. Really, a lot of that is mostly on the driver's side seat bolster. Now, this stuff is not meant to last for years. Realistically, in my opinion, this should kind of be applied between every 6 months to a year. And the reason I say that is every time you're getting in and out of your vehicle, kind of sliding in on that bolster, you're going to start to wear that down a little bit. So I really think if you keep your interior clean, every 6 months, really every year, it's very dependent on how much you drive your car. If you're one of those people putting, 15, 20,000 miles on your car a year, you're probably going to want to use this more in that 6 to 9 month range. If you're somebody who puts 10,000, maybe even less, you're probably going to be a year to a year and a half. So just kind of understand when your seats start to get a little bit dirtier, that mostly means that your seats are starting to degrade a little bit, or the coatings are starting to degrade a little bit. You can clean them up, reapply it, and kind of restart that process. So really the best way to do this is to get it really done from day one. We have no staining on the seats. Actually, yes, we do, because the seat I'm sitting on now has a few small little stains. We'll talk through the process in cleaning that and then installing the coating on it, but it's really a straightforward process. So Gyeon Leather Shield Evo has actually been redone for this year. Evo meaning that it's a little bit stronger, it applies a little bit easier, and honestly, this is one of the easiest straightforward things to do DIY. So this retails for $59.99 here. And in all honesty, you get quite a big bottle inside of there. You also get applicators. Now, first off, I don't love these applicators. These are normal coating applicator blocks that come in here. They've got a rigid foam, a soft foam on here. Essentially, you take one of these application sheets here, you basically wrap it around this thing, and you go to town actually installing it. I actually prefer to use these. These are foam applicators that actually have a hydrophobic barrier in them in between the microfiber and the foam underneath. When you go in and actually install it on here, it's not soaking up into the foam. So I'll leave all this linked in the description below so you can pick this up and do it yourself. And there's also a little instruction guide here. So before you even get into the actual coating, you want to make sure that the seat's clean and it's ready to accept the coating. That's something we always talk about, whether we're, coating glass, wheels, paint, plastic trim, or in this case, vegan leather seats. You want to make sure we have no oils on there, we have no staining. You don't want to lock all of that in. So Gyeon has developed a line of different interior cleaners, and there's multiple different ones you can actually use. Now for Teslas, basically, you don't want to use the Gyeon Leather Cleaner Natural, which is more meant for something like a Porsche leather interior, Lamborghini, some of that really high-end, fine-grained Napa leather. Great cleaners for that. But for Tesla, you're probably going to want to find something like this. And this is Gyeon's Interior Detailer. I absolutely love this stuff. It's good for quick wipe downs of the interior. It's not really meant to remove heavy, deep staining. This is more meant to be sprayed on a towel, you wipe it off. So I would say if you have a brand new car, this is the one you're going to use. Next to that, you have something called Gyeon Leather Cleaner Mild, which is not this one. This is actually the strong version. Mild would be you have a few little stains in it. It just needs a quick cleanup. And then you move up to strong. This is if you have some serious staining in there, you really need to get in there and scrub it. So very dependent on basically where your interior is sitting now. If it's new, you're going to go here. If it's a little used, a little worn, you're going to go with something like Gyeon Leather Cleaner Strong. Now the great thing with the lineup here is they all work with the coatings. You do not want to grab any sort of leather cleaner beforehand that's going to leave anything behind, like conditioners or soften the leather, because that's actually going to not let the coating get in there to the pores and actually physically attach to it. So that's really important to understand. So first off here, what we're going to do, I'm going to be coating this passenger seat. We're going to take a fresh, clean microfiber towel. Honestly, it doesn't really matter what you're using. I like to purchase these from Costco actually. And anytime I'm working in the interior, I always kind of single use these. The reason being is I detail a lot of cars and interiors are kind of gross, aren't they? People are eating in them, got hand oils, lotions, all that nasty stuff all over everywhere. So I don't really like to launder them, reuse them in other people's cars. So the Costco towels are perfect. So essentially we're going to go through, do all of the seats with our Gyeon Interior Detailer here with a microfiber towel. If there's any deeper staining that we see, I'll show you a little bit on this particular seat. We'll go in there, make sure that's all clean. After the fact, you want to let the whole interior dry out. You don't want to just come in and actually apply that. And then we'll jump into the coating. It's really as simple as that. So let's jump into coating the passenger seat. So first order of business here, we're going to make sure that our seats are completely clean and completely dry before we even get into the coating. So I'm going to grab my Gyeon Interior Detailer here and I'm going to spray down the seat. Now a little goes a long way with this. This actually has quite a bit of alcohol in it, which will not dry out your white leather interior here. And you're basically just going to wipe. You want to inspect your seats, making sure that there's not any sort of stains. Now I can definitely see on the lower side bolster here, which is off camera, basically on the other side here, there is a little bit of staining. So I'll bring you in a little bit closer, show you what that looks like and make sure all of that is gone. But basically you're going to wipe this. You want to be mindful of this having perforation in it. Pretty much, yeah, I guess all of the new Tesla seats have perforation in them, especially in the front seats as well as the back seats. And you want to make sure that this has time to dry out. Very important, because otherwise you're going to waste all the time, money in doing the coating. So that's pretty much how you wipe this down. If you do have little stains, put a little bit more product on here, go in there, scrub that area. If that's not removing it, again, remember you can bump up to something like Leather Cleaner Strong here, or you can go somewhere in the middle to Gyeon Leather Cleaner Mild, but it's a pretty straightforward process to clean those up. Now down here on the passenger side seat, we actually have a little bit more staining. So you can see kind of these two dirty fingerprints here, some areas like this. And again, this car is only 2 to 3 days old. We were trying to do this day one after Brandon took delivery, but we just got kind of flooded with trying to get videos up. I think we shot 3 or 4 videos. Brandon made a bunch of shorts that day. It was a chaotic day picking this car up. So what I'd recommend doing, again, starting with your least aggressive possible here, the interior detailer, spray some on here, spray a little bit more on your towel as well. Come in here and try and agitate it. Now what I'm seeing is this is actually not removing it. So if you're not coating your seats, this is pretty normal in terms of staining. So this is why I always recommend actually getting these. I don't think this is even going to come off as well. So if that is the case, yeah, I can still see a little bit in here. Again, this is really not meant to be a deep cleaner. It's more meant to just wipe things down. Now, again, one of the cool benefits here with Gyeon's coating is all of these products work after the fact. So probably 99% of the time, you're just going to use the interior detailer. Now, what I'd recommend if you have stains like this, probably try the mild first. If you need a little bit more aggressive, come in here with the strong. So I'm going to spray that down, spray my applicator over here. Actually, my brush, that's not an applicator. And we're going to come in here and actually scrub this. And as you can see, immediately took that away. So there are needs sometimes to have these a little bit stronger cleaners. That is completely gone right there. Looking awesome. And then we'll hit that little spot back there and it'll be fully ready to coat. So now that we've got the seats clean, they've dried off. Again, big recommendation here is to start on one seat, go around the entire car, clean all those, then come back and likely you're ready to start coating. So again, we're going to use the other applicator here. This is from Auto Fiber with the Auto Saver in it there. So you're not wasting a ton of this product. We have our Leather Shield Evo and we have a fresh towel. Now for the time being, we're going to toss this away. So during install here, you want to apply this liberally to the entire seat. So you're going to go through, make sure you get all the nooks and crannies here, get into these edges. Then you're going to wait about 2 to 5 minutes to come back in and kind of level it out, wipe it down with our towel. But again, pretty darn straightforward here. So I'm going to crack open the bottle and we're going to start applying. Always recommend wearing gloves here. Brandon is one of those crazy dudes who never does this with gloves and has spilled it multiple times all over his hands. So just come in and work this in. You want to make sure you get a good even application throughout. So just kind of watch this. If you get to the point where you're feeling like, ooh, I don't have enough on there, totally fine to reapply, go back over it. Now, another recommendation, keep the lid on this every time you're applying it because air and oxygen actually starts to cure this in the bottle. Now we're just going to continue to apply, making sure we get all the way down here. And importantly, this passenger side seat bolster. And genuinely, it is as simple as that. You just want to make sure you're getting even coverage throughout. A lot of guys will like to do this crosshatch. Basically that means, so if you're going here, come through and come back this way, ensuring that you get even coverage throughout. And it's going to look a little shiny. This will completely dull out once the coating has flashed or cured on the surface. And then when you go to wipe it, it's going to look absolutely perfectly smooth, very OEM, very matte. It's not going to make it shiny, sticky, anything like that. So I'm going to apply a little bit more here and continue on the back of the seat. So we've now got the entire seat here coated. Now is time to be patient and wait. If you're a first timer to this, what I'd recommend is probably start on one seat. So maybe just start here on the lower section, kind of get a feel for this, see how long it needs to wipe off. The key indicators here you're looking for really is just time. So between 2 to 5 minutes, it's a very forgiving product. This is not going to show real indicators that it's ready to come off. Essentially what we're doing when we're actually wiping this off is just leveling it. So making sure we have no high spots, which would be an area like maybe the front half of this had a lot of product that didn't soak in. You don't want to leave that there. You're just going to massage that in. It's going to pick up the excess while the other has gone into the actual material. So once you get comfortable with this, you can start moving around the interior. So maybe you start here on the passenger side, lower seat, get a feel for that, do the top half and you're feeling good. Then maybe do one more seat. Now what I do when I'm doing this, because I know how this product works, is I'll just coat the entire interior because realistically it's about 5 minutes for me to do all of the seats, come back to this seat, wipe it, and then I continue around. And it's a pretty quick, straightforward process once this is applied and you kind of know what you're doing. Now for this interior, once you wipe it off, really you want to be around 6 hours or so before you actually sit in it and use it. Now, ideally, what you'd want to do, maybe after work one day, over the weekend, when you know the car is going to be sitting, come in here, do it maybe, in the evening, let it sit overnight, and you're good to go the next morning. So I'm going to let this sit here for a few more minutes. We'll do our quick wipe off process, and we are fully coated. Let this sit for about 5 minutes now, and you'll notice the sheen has immediately gone down, especially here on the bottom. So we're ready to actually remove this. So we're going to grab a clean, fresh microfiber towel and come in here and gently wipe. Now, the thing I love about this product is it doesn't change the feel, it doesn't change the slickness, it doesn't add shine to any of the leather or vegan leather material inside of here. It just feels very smooth, very even, very natural. So you're just gonna gently come in here. I always like to have my towels here folded in the quarters. If you're one of these people, please stop watching this channel. I'm just kidding. But a nice tip here, always fold your towels like this because you get 8 sides here. So you just come in here, wipe this down, check for any very shiny spots, and if you don't have any, you're good to go. And your seats are fully coated. It is quite literally as simple as that. This is a very DIY friendly product. I do this all the time to my customers, brand new Teslas, Rivians, all of the vehicles with lighter interiors. Now, I know a few of you are going to ask, should I be doing it on areas like the armrest or the other areas? Maybe I have a black interior. Honestly, my findings are you don't really need it on the black interiors because these will actually show gene stains and things like that. It's very important to get them protected right away so you're not kind of battling that and then protecting them. My serious recommendation here, spend the 60 bucks, take 30 minutes to an hour to do this to your brand new car. You'll thank me later. It's going to make a big difference. Brandon is the awesome gentleman who has let us use his Model Y here. Thanks for doing that. Really appreciate it. So tell me a little bit about the coating here because you've had this on all 9 of your Teslas now?
Probably 7 of them because I only started doing it after I got white interior.
Okay, so you originally started with black, then went to the white interior. How'd you find out about this coating?
I just looked it up. I just looked up like how to keep seats clean, and I don't know how I found it, but I found that there was a ceramic coating, and then it was pretty easy. It took me about like 20 minutes to do it the first time. I for sure did it wrong, but I learned how to do it right the other times.
Yeah, I think an instructional video like this going step by step is very helpful. What's been your feelings though? Has this actually helped? Now you don't keep cars a super long time, to be fair.
Yeah, I think the longest I've kept a car is 18 months.
Okay, so 1.5 years or so. But I think that's a good amount of time to tell, okay, does it keep the seats cleaner? You've done some cool videos.
Yeah, actually, I saw on my Model Y I just sold, that was the one I owned 18 months. And when I got rid of it and I sold it to the new owners, the seats were pretty much just as good as they were the day I got the car. And that's because I pretty much ceramic coated within the first week of getting the Model Y. And even on the back seats, I've done like probably over 100 spill videos, just spilling, yeah, I mean, between like 2 or 3 Teslas, just spilling all these random liquids. I spilled like hot sauce. I spilled oil. I spilled so many different liquids on there. And I think the closest I've gotten to actually staining was grape Kool-Aid. And that actually came off because I used a leather cleaner after that. Okay. But besides that, like I've never had any issues with the stuff actually staining it. I have had issues with like blue jeans, but again, since I had the seats coated, it was pretty easy to clean. And even my Model 3, I've owned that 8 months now, and the seats are still pretty good condition, especially the driver's seat. That's the one I use the most, obviously. Yep. So, I mean, it's held up really well.
So it's essentially a little bit of a layer that you put on there, and it's going to help kind of have everything come off easier. It's not to say that the seats won't stain, because you will still see jean staining on there, but it wipes off now a lot easier. Yeah. So you go in there with a mild cleaner. You can definitely use all the Gyeon leather cleaners. You can also use some other cleaners out there. If I'm being honest, I would kind of stick with the Gyeon stuff just because they're meant to work with the coatings on here. But it's nice to hear that somebody has used this product, actually really loved it. I've loved it on my car. I actually wore mine off though, and the seat has already started staining, and now it's kind of permanently stained. So again, keep up on it. I would just say often wipe your interior down. Now, one thing that's kind of frustrating for you as a content creator all the seats now are perforated.
Yeah.
So you can't really
no more spill videos unless I do it in the middle seat, but then, it's kind of raised, so I might just go to the sides.
Yeah. Yeah. Back here, yeah, you could put some hot sauce on there for sure. That wouldn't be too bad. Cool, dude. Well, really appreciate you letting us use your car. I'm glad you've had great success with this product. It's super easy to use, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, if I was able to do it in a parking lot, someone can do it in the garage.
Exactly. And Brandon, to be fair, doesn't really have detailing experience.
Yeah.
He's, he'll wash his car, dry it, like he does all his stuff with, his Quicksilver car here, his Model 3 Performance, but I wouldn't say his knowledge of detailing is excessive. So I think this is a pretty easy product to use.
Oh yeah, super easy, and definitely recommend. It's like I had this ordered before I got my car.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. So all the products will be linked in the description below. Thanks again to Brandon for letting us use his brand new Model Y. This thing is awesome in Quicksilver, and the interior is just stunning. Brandon's actually going to end up doing all of this in the door panel here. So he's already done the back seats, done the driver's seat. I just did the passenger seat. But yeah, this thing will be fully protected and ready for a bunch of awesome videos.
Yep.
All right. We'll see you in the next one soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.